G'day collectors, Rob here for another episode of Aussie Diecast Reviews. Hope you're all doing well and I hope you're enjoying the show. First up, Happy New Year, Happy 2017. Sorry for the lack of videos lately, I've just been busy doing other things, but yeah, hopefully now I've got a little bit more time to do these reviews for you. So yeah, anyway, I hope everyone had a good Christmas as well, and I hope Santa looked after you with lots of diecast goodies. So yeah, let's get stuck into it for 2017. So with the 2016 Supercars Championship done and dusted, with Shane Van Gisbergen winning the 2016 series and collecting his first championship title, I'm going to review the car that he won his first ever V8 Supercar race win, and his first win for Ford and Stone Brothers Racing. He also scored a few more race wins in 2011 as well. So for episode 12, we're going to go back into the 2011 era of the V8 Supercar Championship, and we'll have a look at what Shane and Stone Brothers Racing did that season, and I'll give my honest review about the model as well. So let's get stuck into it, and I'll kick it off, and we'll be reviewing this car here. Sweet. Okay, today we have a 118 Classic Collectibles Ford Falcon FG V8 Supercar. The team is Stone Brothers Racing or SP Tools Racing, and the driver is Shane Van Gisbergen. This model is based off the 2011 V8 Supercar season car, and it is not a championship winning model, it's just a car that Shane ran for 2011. But as I said, he won a few races that year, so yeah, it's also a part of, I guess you could say, the Stone Brothers collection or Shane Van Gisbergen collection or Ford collection. So just a quick side note about the team Stone Brothers Racing. Stone Brothers Racing were once a very highly regarded team here in Australia. The team was run by Ross and Jimmy Stone, and that's where the name SBR comes into play, Stone Brothers Racing. The team was formed in 1998 when Ross and Jim bought Alan Jones's share in Alan Jones Racing and renamed it Stone Brothers Racing. But Ross and Jimmy were in the sport longer than that. I'm pretty sure they ran Dick Johnson Racing for a while back in the early 90s. And yeah, it was a very successful team in the late 90s and early 2000s, winning a Bathurst 1000 in 1998, and a number of championships as well. And they have recently been inducted into the V8 Supercar Hall of Fame. But moving on to Shane Van Gisbergen. Van Gisbergen was picked up by Stone Brothers Racing in 2008. He was driving for Team Kiwi Racing in 2007. He would continue with the Stone Brothers Racing outfit for 5 seasons until the year 2012. But for 2011 he would secure a personal best finish of 4th place. So that's what we'll be looking at today. So without further ado, let's have a bit of a look at what this car did. 2011 was a year that Shane Van Gisbergen was starting to slowly make his mark in the V8 Supercar Championship. After a number of years driving with the Stone Brothers Racing outfit, the young 21-year-old had come agonisingly close to his breakthrough victory in the past, but in 2011 that was all to change. SBR and Shane Van Gisbergen make a good start to the 2011 championship, with Shane finishing 4th and 8th for the opening round in the Yas Marina circuit, and also finishing in the mid-pack for races 1 and 2 for the Clipsal 500. Stone Brothers Racing and Van Gisbergen would eventually finish this season in a strong 4th position. But on Sunday the 17th of April 2011 won't be a date that Shane Van Gisbergen will not forget for as long as he lives. New Zealand and Australian motorsport fans alike will remember it for many years to come as well. For round 3 of the 2011 championship, the series would return to the Hamilton Street Race in New Zealand. After starting from 4th on the grid, Van Gisbergen showed maturity to settle into the race in 3rd behind the Jack Daniels racing duo of Rick Kelly and Todd Kelly for the first few laps. But on lap 25 he would boldly pass Rick Kelly for the race lead, after a restart from a safety car. But despite a slight pit lane hiccup in a chaotic street race, and the pressure of performing in front of his home crowd, and massive pressure from Fujitsu driver Lee Holsworth, he held on to cross the line into the delight of the large Hamilton crowd. It was New Zealand and Shane Van Gisbergen's day, and it was his first ever race win for Ford, but certainly won't be his last. SBR and Shane Van Gisbergen had won a tyre strategy determined race of the V8 Supercar Championship at Hill Valley Raceway, marking the Kiwis' second career win, and not to forget the trademark Gizzy burnout. But in 2011, another V8 Supercar Championship had been born. And now let's look at the model. Alrighty, so on to the model. But first we'll have a look at the box and certificate details. We'll start off with the box. So pretty much you got a nice rendering of the model car there. Shane Van Gisbergen, year 2011. Stone Brothers Racing Ford Falcon FG. So yeah, it's pretty basic stuff here. Yeah, no, obviously it's a Stone Brothers Racing officially licensed product, so that is the box. And of course you get the certificate of authenticity. Limited edition and release of 750. I have 157. So yeah, relatively low numbers for this model. So that's what you get with the certificate. No other flyer or information about the car. Alrighty, time to reveal this car for you, and there you go. Now I have done a review about the Ford Falcon FG V8 Supercar before in episode 3 or 4, but that was an Apex Replicas FG Falcon. But yeah, I did do a comparison of all three. Actually, I did Apex, Bonnet and Classic, so I'll try not to ramble on about this car too much. And if you want to see that episode, I think it's episode 3, so go check that out. So as I said in the pre-video, 2011 was a big year for Shane Van Gisbergen, winning his first ever V8 Supercar race for Ford and Stone Brothers Racing. And what a great way to get your first win in front of your home crowd. And also getting another win in Darwin, Hidden Valley Raceway. And Stone Brothers Racing and Shane Van Gisbergen would actually finish the year quite strongly, actually in 4th place. So yeah, a very, very good year indeed. Now this car model here is actually not the Hamilton race winning car. This is just the car that he SBR and ran for 2011. The Hamilton car had a few differences between this car here. It might have just had a different logo for the event, and a couple of different ones, but yeah. So as always with the review of the details, we'll start off at the front of the car and we'll work our way around. So starting off the front, beautifully replicated model here from Classics. Yeah, front of the car absolutely superb with the SP Tools logos. All the paintwork has been beautifully done. One thing to note with this model is the matte black with the paint here on the sides. Very aggressive looking V8 Supercar model. So yeah, I think I've covered most of the front. So look at the bonnet and the engine. Alright, so looking at the bonnet, and then we'll have a look at the engine. And yeah, very well replicated, and all the very good quality of decals for this model that Classics have done. So that's the bonnet. You get of course the detailed engine pins, and of course with Classic Car Collectibles you get the removable engine cover, and with the Ford Falcon FG you get a very, very detailed engine bay. And if I tilt the car up, you've actually got some decals underneath here. I think that's Fuchs. So yeah, not bad for the front of the car in the engine bay. So that's done. Now we'll have a look at the side of the car. Alrighty, so looking at the side, one thing to note with this car is the design of the paintwork on this car. You've got actually the detailed spanners and the screwdrivers from SP Tools. So that's very well done by Classics. And also with the V8 Supercar model, you got a detailed V8 Supercar wheels. I don't know, you probably can't see it, but you actually get an engraving of supercars there on all 4 wheels. So that's very good. Yeah, and of course detailed fuel filter there. So yeah, not bad for the side. Now we'll have a look at the rear of the car. Alrighty, just looking at the rear, a couple of little details here. You've got the SBR logo. Pretty much SBR ran all these logos on their cars through the years they were racing. And as always with Classics, you're going to get a very, very well detailed fuel system. Rear of the car with the boot. You've got all the detailed sump, fuel sump and plumbing in there. So that is the rear. And of course with the Classics FG V8 Supercar, you're going to get a very well detailed interior, right down to the roll cage, the race net. The race net actually doesn't come out, that's just stationary. So there's the driver's side, no special decals and sort of the interior. And just looking at the passenger side door, as you can see there, you've got all the ignition switches, the anti-roll bar. You've got a couple of little logos there of SPR and Ford on the I think they called that the Larry bar or the roll bar. And then on television when they go in car, you would see that logo there, SPR and Ford. So yeah, that is the interior and the details of the model. Okay, time for my honest review about this model. First up, quality. In terms of quality for this era of classic collectible models, it's a very high quality model. It comes with all opening doors and bonnet and boot. Plus the paintwork is all spot on, so the Classics Ford FG Falcon for quality is not bad at all. And I didn't go into the detail side of it too much. It's just basically a Ford Falcon FG. There's no use of me going, it's just a stock standard V8 supercar, and it's just got different paint on it. So the interior is going to be the same, the engine detail is going to be the same. It's just basically the paintwork, but yeah, in terms of quality, 2 thumbs up. That brings me on to details. So for details for this car, there's a couple of things that stand out with this model. One thing is the paintwork and the small details that come with it, just like with the spanners, the detailed spanners and the wrenches and all that. You also get the engraved V8 Supercar logo on the wheels. Of course, the Classics engine bay and interior. And with this era of classic car collectibles, you get a decent model, but yeah, not so much now, but which is a shame. But for details wise, it's yeah, very good. Goods and bads. We'll start with goods. For goods, again, if you're getting this model, there's not a lot of disappointments with this car. The model looks fantastic. The actual how they've replicated the livery is second to none. I like it, and yeah, it's all good. Bads, not a whole lot of bads with this car. I guess one thing, it's not really recognised as a race-winning car. I would have liked to see maybe a Hamilton race-winning car or a Darwin car. As I said, this car here is just the livery that SBR ran that season. But I guess you could maybe do some modifications with decals and so forth to make it look like one of those race-winning cars. But other than that, it's not that bad. That brings me on the price. This car was going for a retail price of $215 back in early 2011, and I brought this car off eBay for a price of I think it was $200, but that wasn't including postage. The model was released back in early March of 2011, so yeah, it's only about 6 years old now. Asking price at the moment, if you're looking at getting this model, this car is going for around the $180 to $250 mark, give or take. But yeah, that number may slowly rise over the next few years, I think, since now Shane has won his first championship, so maybe a lot of people might be starting collecting more of his cars. That brings me on to eBay price. There's not a lot of eBay at the moment. I've only seen 1 or 2, and again, the eBay price is anywhere from $200 to $250 the last time I seen. So, but by the look of it, at the moment you're not going to pay anything over $300 or even $400 for this model. But maybe in the near future it might rise, as I said. And as always, make sure you're aware of what you're buying off eBay. How rare is the car? Well, I would say yes, it is. Shane's very first win in V8 Supercars for Ford and Stone Brothers Racing. So yes, it is, I would say. And now that, as I said, as I think he's won his first championship, I can kind of see some of his Shane Van Gisbergen's models going up in rareness now as well. Not all of them, just the majority of them, some of them. But yeah, if you're starting a Shane Van Gisbergen collection or even a Stone Brothers collection, then this car here you're going to need in your cabinet. Car to compare it to. So no car to compare it to today for this model. Classics are the only one who made this model. They had the license to produce the Stone Brothers racing cars for 2011. So yeah, only Classics have made this car. But as I said, I have done a comparison of Bianchi, Classics and Apex Ford V8 Supercar of the FG anyway, in episode 3 or 4, but I'll put a link in the description if you want to check that out. But I can't see anyone remaking this car unless Classics re-release this model into a Hamilton race winning car or something like that. But yeah, don't hold your breath. Rating out of 10, I'll give this model a 9 out of 10 for this car. Look, with this era of Classics cars, the company were on top of their game when it come to making V8 supercar models. The cars look great, they feel great, you know, they don't feel cheap, they actually feel like a real die-cast model car. You know, you get good quality and details with all opening parts and detailed interior, so all in all a very well replicated model car. And if you're a passion collector, I would highly recommend it. So that's it for episode 12 today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Look, I'll try and post some more reviews in 2017. I'll try and get an episode out, one a week, hopefully, or once a fortnight even. Hopefully soon I'll have a bit more time to do these reviews for you in my spare time. So yeah, as always, leave a like, share and comment and all that good stuff. And if you have any suggestions of what model you want to see me review, I've got, like I said, I've got plenty of cars to review. So if you think of one, leave a comment down below and I'll try and get it done for you. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. And until next time, I'll catch you around for another episode of Aussie Diecast Reviews. So catch ya.